Welcome everybody to week 1, day 3 of IS50A. And so we are going to Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, very good, very good. Great game, fantastic game. I'd say it's honestly an art masterpiece. There's not a whole lot of games that I think like really convey mood the way that Ghost of Tsushima does. And a lot of it's very subtle too. Like, let's see if I get copyright striked for this. Let's see if we can. Let's find something relevant. So like, there's a scene where you're like invading a castle, and so like you're like climbing up a cliff, but the game does something very subtle. It sort of pans the camera around like this, and so when you climb up, you can see the ocean, you know, and the moonlight on the waters as you're sort of very lonely climbing up this cliff. The moon's there, reflection, you know, like all of it is. The whole game is designed to cultivate this sort of somber and like contemplative mood of like an end of an era coming, right? Like the Mongols have invaded, everything you know has been destroyed, the world's ending, but you're still trying, and people don't understand that you're willing to pull out all the stops in order to stop the Mongol invasion and stuff like that. So yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, if you guys have a PlayStation, is just chef's kiss. Well done game. Ending in the beginning of a new era. Yeah. I thought the white pants were from Sekiro Die Twice. Yeah. You like PC? Yeah, that's fair. I do too. But there, come on, YouTube. Why are you so terrible? Okay, it's in 4K. Okay, yeah. Look at this. Like, it's just. Yeah, just amazing. Let's look at the quality. And so just, yeah, it's just a very well done game. It's got, the genre of it, you know, let's do the game analysis, right? Game analysis form. Let's see. And name of the game, Ghost of Tsushima. How many minutes did you play the game? Enough, a lot, probably 80 hours or so. So the genre would be adventure, right? But if you want to get more specific into the genre on it, it's one of these Ubisoft style games where there's a map and there's icons on the map, and you got to go to each of the icons, and you know, this is a farmstead. It's been taken over by Mongols. Yeah, there's the map. Perfect. Good timing, YouTube video. And so there's an icon on the map. It's been conquered by the Mongols. You go there, you get a minor legend increase, which is like leveling up, and you get some steel or something. And there's crafting items that you pick up around the world, and then you craft better arms and armor and other stuff from the, like if he goes into the trees here, you'll see at some point, you'll see there's wood pickup points around the place, and you can just run through the woods and pick up wood and stuff like that, and use that to improve your bows and stuff like that. So, so the subgenre would be and then if there's a point of interest, a little golden bird appears who may or may not be your mother. I don't know. And if you follow the bird, it'll guide you towards like there's a quest giver there. So it's a very clever system, right? Like. You would probably not know that this quest giver was here, right? And so if you're just in the general vicinity, this bird will appear and just kind of circle around you. And there's a wood pickup there. And it can guide you towards hot springs and other points of interest and things like that. So, and then, you know, you just walk around, and there's, you know, somebody's house, and it's been, you know, clearly the people who lived here have been murdered. You know, the shoji screens have been destroyed. You can see the pieces of paper on the ground, and you can go pick up, linen for your crafting things. And a lot of people are sort of tired of the whole, like, walk around a map, hit up all the points of interest, pick up all the resources, craft genre. But, and then here's another thing, you follow the fox, and the fox will lead you to a hidden shrine, so you have to chase after the little cute little fox. And the best part of the game is you can pet the fox sometimes. So, it's just a gorgeous game. And dead people murdered right there next to a shrine, So you pray at the shrine, and then sometimes the fox will be available for pets afterwards, which is absolutely the best part of the game. And then sometimes it runs away, so you don't always get to pet the fox. So the fox there left. So some people just absolutely hate that mechanic of, walk around, collect items, and oh, there you go. There's the fox pet. But for me, that's all actually secondary. The whole point of the game is about cultivating mood. Like, look at this. Like, it's just like there's sunlight, it's just like the game is all about, there's a flooded thing. Like, it's all about cultivating this mood, of like times are ending and changing and things like that. And it just does a fantastic job of that. And unfortunately, it's a PlayStation exclusive, so if you're a PC gamer like me, then you have to get a PlayStation. And in fact, I bought a PS5 specifically just to play Ghost of Tsushima at a higher frame rate. So, and it was worth it, I think. I don't know, maybe it wasn't worth it. So I've never used the PlayStation 5 otherwise. Okay, so how many players? Single player. How fun was it? Yeah, I'm not going to give it max credit on this one, because it does get a little bit repetitive. The combat gets a little bit samey. You do unlock more fighting techniques and things like that as the game goes on. After a while, though, all the combats are kind of the same. Although you can approach attacking a stronghold position in a number of different ways. You can stealth in, backstab people, you can archery them to death, you can do Dark Souls, dodge and parry mechanics and things like that. There's a cooperative and competitive. Well, it's not multiplayer, so it's just purely competitive, I guess. It's a luck or strategy based. There's no real luck in the game. It's all strategy, I guess. How much player interaction? Not applicable. It's a single player game. How much downtime? None. You're always playing the game. How easy is it? It's pretty damn easy to learn. Like the dueling mechanics, like what you saw right there, are a little bit tricky the first or second time. But how much information do you have about the game state? You know pretty much everything. The map puts markers all over the place. You talk to people and they'll put a map marker on for you too. Is it abstract or simulationist? It's definitely simulationist. Some people got this one wrong, I would say, on the survey. So an abstract game, the things that, what defines an abstract game is that you're using things to represent other things and they don't really resemble them at all. That's I guess the best way that I can put it. When you're playing chess, you've got like this piece with like a cross on the head and that's supposed to be a king, you know what I mean? It's not like chess is accurately reproducing strategy mechanics from a medieval battlefield. No, not at all. And the pieces are just like these little weird shaped things. So chess is an abstract game. Sometimes you play like worker placement games, which are fairly popular board games these days. And you get these little discs and you put the discs on a spot and that represents a worker working on that spot. And that's, again, pretty abstract. Whereas this game is simulationist. Like, your sword is a sword and your horse is a horse. And the Mongols are Mongols. Like, this is a simulate. It's trying to simulate. And it's a game, right? So games don't necessarily do things accurately. Obviously, in real life, your health doesn't regenerate, when you get damaged and stuff. So he's going to throw a noisemaker. Yeah. So he throws a noisemaker. It draws the attention of that guy. And he's going to come up behind him and backstab, presumably. And there you go. So yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a simulationist game. It's of a lower high skill cap. I'd say it's kind of medium. Like it doesn't, like when you start off, you're kind of not very good, but you can actually learn kind of everything there is in the game fairly easily. It's not too challenging a game. And that's a problem kind of with single player games a lot of times, is that you can't require you can't require people to be too good, because then people will get stuck, right? Like if there's a boss fight that's like genuinely hard, then people can't beat it, you know, or a lot of people can't beat it, and they get frustrated and they give up. You know, so in Ghost of Tsushima, there's very few parts of the game that are actually challenging, to its detriment, I would say. I thought it was referring to realism. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I gave a very brief overview on Tuesday as far as what it means, and so like I said, we're going to keep revisiting these concepts through the semester. Yeah, the smoke bomb's amazing. Smoke bomb allows you to instantly hide in combat, and then you can mass backstab people. So he's throwing daggers there. Oh, he terrified somebody. So when you terrify someone, they flop, basically. Alright, how does it handle people of different skill levels? I think pretty well, honestly, because the game's just easy. It's a pretty easy game, honestly. If you take damage, you can burn your key points, or whatever they're called, to restore your health, and you get key points by killing people. So as long as you're making any sort of reasonable progress, you're sort of invincible. Okay, Dex or intelligence based. There's a little bit of intelligence. Like when you're trying to attack a stronghold, you have to kind of think about it a little bit, come up with a strategy. It's mostly dexterity. I'd say it's around a 2, maybe something like that. How balanced is it? I'd say it's pretty well balanced. All the choices in the game are interesting, by and large. Can't think of anything that's just like terrible. There's some things that I don't use, but it's just my own personal playstyle. Like overall, I think they have a skill tree. As you level up, you get to unlock skills and stuff like that. I think it's actually pretty well made, pretty well balanced on that. And how replayable? I don't know if it's replayable. Like after you beat it, like I don't know. I don't know if you would want to play it again, necessarily. It's a common problem with single-player stories. Once you begin, it's kind of like, do I really want to start over with no experience points and go back to being terrible again? Probably not. So that's my game analysis for Ghost of Tsushima, and really cool stuff. Alright, so like I said, I read over all of your game analysis forums, and there are some things that I think people made mistakes on, but overall you guys seem to have a pretty good grasp on it. We're going to learn a new game right now, and maybe we'll do like a Twitch Plays style game. Has anyone here played Hnefatafl before? I would be surprised if anyone has, but it's called Viking chess sometimes. Let's see if there's a... Let's turn off the music. Let's see, can we start this over? I think the smaller board is going to be a little bit faster to play. Can we play online with someone? That's the question. So Hnefatafl is here you go. White player, black player. Okay, so black beans or white beans. Okay. So the way that Hnefatafl works is you have basically a bunch of rooks, black beans. Can I not move? What's going on Maybe I have to click. There we go. Okay. So the way that it works is all of your pieces move like rooks in chess. Okay. So black, I guess, goes first, then white. I don't know. Can go here. If you ever surround a piece on two sides, it's captured. Okay. And that's basically the rule. So you don't capture a piece by running into it like in chess. Nope. You capture a piece by surrounding it on two sides. So let's see, maybe I can go here, and then this guy's like, nope, you can't. He's like trying to capture him, but then this guy's like, no, I'll capture you. What up? You know? And the game ends either when one side runs out of pieces or the king escapes. And so the king is this piece here. And the king escapes to one of the corners. And so the black player has more. The black player has more pieces. Let's see if we can capture it with two. Yeah, good. The black player has more pieces, so it's actually an interesting game because it is a asymmetric game. If you count, you've got 16 pieces on black and you've got 9 pieces on white, and so black has a bigger army, but white can win by escaping. Okay, so it's a great example of an asymmetric game, and the Vikings were very proud of their skill with Hnefatafl. Like there was a guy they found this Viking warrior who's, you know, they carved these memorial stones, and it's like, yeah, I invaded England and slaughtered 20 guys with my own axe. I conquered 50 acres of land and built a castle, and once in Hnefatafl I captured 3 pieces in a row, and you know, it's just like like he just puts his skill at Toffel at the same level as, like, you know, killing people, and yeah, he's like, yeah, I forked this guy and I forked that guy in Viking chess, man. It was amazing. I'm such a good Hnefatafl player, you know, and I can make my own armor, and I led a band of 50 proud Viking warriors. You know, it's like, all right, that's kind of cool, you know, like, are you gonna tell that guy nerd? No, probably not, because he'd probably split your head open with an axe, you know. Hnefatafl is actually in Mountain Blade Bannerlord. So Mountain Blade 2, sorry. It has a bunch of kind of old school games in it. There's like different regions of the world, and when you're in the Viking area, you can, you know, you go into a tavern and there's Hnefatafl sets there, and you can play it, and there's an AI for it and everything. So you can lie and say nerd is a compliment because he didn't know what the word means. It's true. He's a total gamer. Yeah. So let's play a couple games of this and see if we can kind of get a handle on it. So who would like to play me at Viking chess? Silence on Discord. I've only played the game like a dozen times. I am not as good as Ragnar Hairy Pants or whoever the guy was. All right, Krente's down. All right, so Krente, you can be white. White is easier because all you got to do is escape. Okay, so I'm gonna unmute you. Okay. All right, Krente, can you talk right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I guess I'll start. Let's see. Maybe I'll go there. Yeah. I see. Okay. All right. Did you make that move? Hang on.
No.
Start over. What the hell happened?
That's why I was confused, because it just went.
It just went. Yeah, it's not set on computer.
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Let's try this again. Alright, where do you want to move? What? What the hell?
It moved again.
I don't know what to tell you. It's not set on computer. Help. Alright, maybe we'll find a different one. AI is taking over, man.
The Vikings coming back from the dead.
It's like, I heard you talking mad smack about me, dude. Right. I'll do this guy. Bill already exists. Okay. Well,
Nice.
Alright. And then we need you to join in? Can you join in? Play Hnefatafl.
Sure. Is that what the website's called?
Mm-hmm. How do I get back to the game?
I have no idea. I'm on the website. Is it connect based?
I don't know. How do I play?
Nice.
I clicked on the rules and now I'm not in the game anymore. Alright, let's try this. Your friend on the same machine. Okay, no.
On the same, I see.
No. Okay, fine. Alright. Alright, I'll be the fat Viking. Which one do you want to be?
Well, I can pick. I'll be 10. I want to be a boat.
Alright, so... Yeah, this is a better set. Okay, so... we'll say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, you know. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So which piece do you want to move?
So I'll do F4.
This guy?
Wait.
Yeah, F4 is this one.
That's F. Wait, did I count? Is that E or is that F?
A, B, C, D.
Oh, you're counting from the X? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. G, then G4. G5.
G5, this
4?
guy.
That one, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll go 1 to the right.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'll do G 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, G7, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll go down 1.
Your turn.
I see. And then I'll do
Yeah, we've made board games in the past, you know.
F 6.
The king? King can't move right now.
7. Sorry, I keep counting wrong.
Gotcha.
And then all the way to the right.
Okay. Capture that.
I see. So wait, how does the capture work?
You surround it on 2 sides and it gets captured.
Gotcha. Okay. Probably should have asked that.
But you have to move into it. Like if I were to move my piece from here to here, it wouldn't be captured.
It wouldn't be. Okay. Wait, so can I capture or is it just you?
Yeah, you can capture.
Like, can I, if I surround it? Oh, I can? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll do E 5.
Here? Oh no, E5, this guy. Okay.
And then I'll go up 1.
Okay. Your turn.
Through. I'll do H. Six. That one, the one you're on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go down 3.
Do you hear?
Yeah. And then I'll do the one I moved before.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to the right. Wait, you went right?
Yeah, I moved here.
Okay. And then, can I escape with that white one that I just moved, or is that
The king has to escape.
King has to escape. Okay. Well, that makes me in a bad spot because now I just realized what I did. So then I'll do.
You want to start over?
No, that's okay. I'll lose with pride.
As ships do.
E 6 up 1.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna move the king left 1.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna move E 7, yeah, to the left 1.
You can capture 2 at once, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what the Viking was talking about. Great.
That much good stuff. I captured none in this game.
I was king of Wessex and built 7 long ships, and once I captured 3 pieces at once in Hnefatafl.
And then I'm gonna move E 5. 5.
This guy.
1 to the left. You ruined my plan.
Yeah, black has to be really careful to keep the king from escaping. Because once they get into like an open line, you know, they can just
go right there.
Run out, yeah. Oh, and the corners, like if I put a piece here, you could capture it by putting a piece here. The corners are hostile.
See.
They count as an enemy piece for everybody. So you can't just like block. You can't just like block the.
Yeah. Puppy guard the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then I'll move. F4.
F? Did you say F?
Yeah.
This guy?
One more. Wait.
You want to move this guy?
Yeah. Or not that guy. The one right next to it.
That guy.
That one.
Okay.
Up 1.
Up 1.
I see. So now you can put that on your tombstone. Interesting. Then I'll move a D6. One to the left.
I can't move into the center square. That's right. Center square is off limits.
Oh, nice.
For me, you can whether or not the king can move back. There's a lot of variants of Hnefatafl, but sometimes that spot can only be taken by the king.
Sure. And then I'm gonna move the king 1 to the left.
Okay.
I'm gonna move the one above the king. To the left.
How far?
1. I'm gonna move my king 1 to the right.
Here?
Yeah. I'm gonna move my piece closest to the top of the board. 1 to the right. I'm gonna move my king up 1. I'll do the one next to the king. One down.
I don't have to clear all that, I just have to capture the king.
I see no good path here.
Yeah, I can't move here. I can't move here.
Yeah. But I move right, I get captured. I move up, I get captured.
Mm-hmm.
I move left, I get captured.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting. So which way would I like to lose? I want to go up. Can I go up? Let me go up with the king.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, the loss for Mr. Frente.
Good game.
So there's different rules. Sometimes it requires the king to be captured on 4 sides. I think the original way would be 2 sides. But people don't exactly know. Yeah, so on this version, you have to capture the king. With 4 pieces. Or 3 if you're on an edge. Interesting. Alright, anyone else want to give it a shot? Okay, Chamois and say Chamois and Shahab. Okay. Alright, so Chamois, what avatar do you want to be? Oh, we need to unmute you. Oh, there you go.
I'll be 9.
You're going to be Freya or something like that? Alright. And then Shahab, who do you want to be? What's up, girl? Shahab, can you speak? Hello? Hello? Alright, hello? Nothing? No? No mic, Shab? Okay, alright, Avina, then you're up. What avatar do you want to be? Let me unmute you. Sorry.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I tabbed out. I'll just go with 1.
Number 1? Alright.
Number 1. Yeah.
Alright, cool. So it is Chamois' turn. Chamois, you're black. Where do you want to move? Full screen that. I did, but it's alright. Yeah.
I'll do B6 to B4.
Okay. Avina?
I will go F4 and up 1. Oh wait, actually no, not up 1. All the way to the left.
I'll take the piece that's all the way to the right of his white.
You want to move here?
The other piece. It's what is it? Yeah, that one.
I'll go. D5, I believe.
This is D5 right here.
Oh no, down one more.
Okay.
And take that one, up one.
Got it.
And I'll go A5 all the way to the right. Not that one. Oh, I called out the wrong one. I called it from the bottom, I think.
I'm starting to realize some of the mistakes I'm making, but that's okay. I will take E 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Move it 1, 2 to the left. Oh, maybe I should have done that. Yeah.
Well, if you'd gone one more, he could have captured you. So.
Yeah. He can, oh no, he can't. Oh, he can
I'll
capture it.
do A6 to the right. All the way to the right.
I'll go. You see the one that's like all the way to the left, right there.
Mm-hmm.
There. Bring it up one.
Okay.
I'll do.
You can see there's a little outline when there's a capture available.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just do that available capture.
I will take the one that's like to the left of the king.
Mm-hmm.
And bring it in between those because you can't capture it right now. I'm pretty sure.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll take B4 and move it to B6.
Okay.
I'll take the king and move it all the way to the left.
Okay.
I'll take A8 and move it to D8. Yeah. Right.
I'll move the very bottom one, like over there, move it one to the left.
I'll move, yeah, I'll capture that piece.
I will. Can I actually capture one? Or no?
I guess those circles don't mean captures. I don't know what they mean then.
Shows where these previously captured.
Previous moves?
Yeah.
I see.
I'm trying to think here. Bring the one all the way to the right and down all the way.
Take the E at the very bottom and then move that in between my two blacks.
Take the A piece. G and then the last one. Okay, no, look to the right one more. And then not that one, the one at the bottom, like of that's, yeah, that one. Bring it to in between the three black ones, like two to the right, or left.
Right here?
Yes.
I'll take F8 to F7. Wait, the one to the right of the up one.
Take the one at the very bottom, like near that one. Bring it to. Yeah, that one, and bring it just 1, 2, 3 to the left.
I'll take the C piece that's beneath his white, and then move that one to the.
Move A, B, C, D, E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E5, I believe. Bring it all the way down.
I'll take E1 and move it all the way down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, take that. Or
Oh,
move
you
to
can't,
the left, yeah.
can't move there. That's the throne.
Oh, you can't? Oh,
That's the throne.
I know there's probably. Take A, B, C, D, E, F. F6, I think. And move it all the way to the left.
You remember playing Hnefatafl in Sweden, Ada?
What's that?
Viking chest. Remember when we played that at the Viking Museum in Sweden?
Yeah, I remember the game. I don't remember fully playing it though. I remember the game, yeah. I don't remember.
Move F2 all the way down.
To here?
Yeah.
Move the one right above the king to the right.
Move D4 down one.
Move the one at the very bottom all the way to the left.
Move my bottom leftmost piece one to the left.
This guy?
Yeah.
Move my white piece so it takes the one there, yeah.
Move my bottom left piece all
Oh, I
the way down.
did, I think. Maybe.
Here?
Yeah.
Actually, move my king all the way to the left. I think that echoes the things that say where they were last, I think that's what it means.
What you gonna do, Shammy?
Oh wow, yeah, that kind of messed me up. Move. Oh, I think that's game.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's game. I mean, it won't matter, but I'll take D1. I'll move it to B1.
I'm gonna take my king and move it all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Good game.
Game.
Good game.
Good game.
I thought I was dead for a second. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be difficult, you know?
Yeah, yeah, Shammy could have taken this piece if you had come down here because these corners are hostile. So he could have picked that guy off.
There's a yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
so what do you guys think of the game?
That was really fun. I want to. I don't. It sounds like bad sportsmanship. I'm hoping to look at the lecture again, like the recording, so I can show some people.
Nice. It's alright.
Good game. Sorry.
Yeah. Well done, you guys.
Okay.
It's it's a is this a okay? So let's go through the game
It's
analysis.
a lot fun to play it than just watch it. It's a lot more fun.
True. Watching it at least once, at least you see the rules, is probably useful too. So let's go through the game analysis, which unfortunately I closed. History, recently closed windows, game analysis forms. Yes, awesome. Okay, and then this, let's unfull screen it, snap it over. Okay, so name of the game, Hnefatafl. How many minutes did you play? I don't know, like 10 or something. Genre. What genre would you guys say this is?
Strategy, or something.
Yeah, like strategy. Simmons, Play Connect 4. Yeah, it's on the same. It's on the same level as like Connect 4, checkers, and things like that. As far as like, there's you have these little disc pieces and things like that. Board game genre. Yeah, I think strategy. Is probably the right answer there. How many players? 2, obviously. So, Shami, how fun would you say the game was?
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. What about Avina?
Same. I'll give it a 4 too.
Corrente?
Yeah, it's good. It's more. It's. Yeah. I
Corrente?
like it better than chess.
Yeah, me too, actually. Corrente, what do you think?
I'd give it a 3. I'm more of a fan of like Onitama.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I used to play that a lot.
Is it cooperative or competitive? It's competitive.
Competitive.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Luck or strategy?
Strategy.
Yeah. How much player interaction is there?
Probably high.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, everything you do impacts the other player, so yeah, that's high, as high as it gets. How much downtime is there?
I'd probably say in the middle, depending on how long your turn is. But if there's a timer, it's shorter.
Yeah, it's kind of like in chess, where even when it's not your turn, you're probably just staring at the board, like trying to think of moves and things like that.
Yeah.
So I would probably put it on the lower scale somewhere. Shogi, yeah, we could do shogi, except we're kind of at the halfway mark, so we're gonna get back into Unreal Engine in a second. How easy is it to learn? What do you guys think?
Easy to learn, yet hard to master.
That's the ideal, right? That's what.
Yep.
What was that? The Othello? Wasn't that the catchphrase for Othello? Easy to
Oh
learn.
yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah.
They use that a lot as a catchphrase.
Yeah, but Othello again, you have white and black pieces on a board. Yeah. How much information do you have about the game state?
Well,
Full. Yeah. There's no hidden information here. Is it abstract or simulationist?
probably pretty abstract, right?
Yeah, it's abstract.
It just represents.
Yep, you just have little discs, and they represent soldiers or something. But like, it's a classic abstract game. Does it have a low or a high skill cap? Now, maybe you guys haven't played it enough to really know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say it's like depending on who you're playing against, like a 3 or 4.
So what's really interesting about Hnefatafl is that nobody actually knows how to play it. They've recreated the rules from reading these gravestones where like people are bragging about what they did in Hnefatafl, and they're like, oh, you were able to capture 2 pieces at once. Like the dude's bragging about it, along with sacking London or whatever. Oh, well, that means in the rules of Hnefatafl, you can capture 2 pieces at once. And so people have sort of like reverse engineered, like the rules from like Vikings bragging about their chess skills. And then there's in Finland, there's a game called Tafl, which is still played by the Sami people, like the indigenous people of Finland. It's still played to this day, and so they kind of looked at the rules of those people in the modern days and sort of used that to help reverse engineer it. But what's really interesting, the reason why I mentioned this, is depending on which variant of the rules you use, the game has a different skill cap. because with some of the rules, white always wins.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And so when they play competitive Hnefatafl, it's actually, you're scored on how many moves it takes for white to win.
That
But-
kind of sounds annoying though.
Daddy, how come a lot of games only white will win?
Well, in some games where white moves first, there's what's called a first move advantage. In this case, though, the key variant that actually makes white win is that the king needs 4 pieces to be captured in some variants, and when you do that, the king can actually be very aggressive. Like you can actually use the king, you can like slide the king like here, and normally a normal piece could be captured by it. Like, do you see this right here? Like, let's say you move the king here. A normal piece, you would just slide this piece up here and capture it. The king, if it requires 4 pieces to capture, you can't capture it with that.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, and then you slide your piece over and capture it, and so you use the king very aggressively. You just throw your king into all the most dangerous situations and use that to just systematically wipe out the black pieces.
So you did the impossible, is what you're saying.
Oh, by winning as black?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just because he had never played before.
Fair enough.
Yeah, with this rule set where you need 4 pieces to capture the king, white will always win, basically.
Really?
It's like in tic-tac-toe. Like,
How does the
tic-tac-toe...
king win, though?
Like, I used to beat my daughter at tic-tac-toe all the time. Even as the second player, And, it's like once... You know what I'm saying? It's like once you kind of get the game down, white always wins. But if you change the rules so that it's only 2 pieces to capture the king, then it becomes a lot more fair. And then it's like 55-45. White still has an advantage. And so then they change like sometimes you can escape on any spot on the edge. And that makes it a lot easier for white, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just have to go, bloop, I win. And if you can escape to any piece, to any square on the edge, like that's like you have to literally keep white surrounded, and that's what I was doing in the previous game. Did you guys notice I was just sort of forming a boundary and kind of like very slowly kind of like bringing it in to keep the king from escaping? It's really hard to win when the king can just escape to any edge square.
I would, if I was playing, I would probably and I was black, I would probably block the exits.
Block the exits, yeah. If you put 3 pieces here, 3 pieces here, 3 pieces here, and 3 pieces here, then white can't escape essentially.
It's really hard to get all that done, probably.
Yeah, because white's going to be moving in the meantime, doing
Wait,
stuff.
can you also win by blocking all the exits? Do you win, or do you just say you can't do anything? I'm just going to win.
Nope, it's not a win. It's just you can just keep them from winning. You always have to move.
A stalemate, I guess, kind of.
Yeah, you can stalemate. Okay, yeah. So what's interesting about the game is that it has a different skill cap based on which rules you use, and so if you use the most common rules where the king requires 4 pieces to capture, it actually has a medium skill cap. Because white will just always win once they get to a certain skill level. How does it handle players at different skill levels? Probably pretty badly. Much like chess, much like checkers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work when you have people at different skill levels playing. What do you guys think? Dexterity or intelligence based?
Intelligence.
Yeah. How balanced is it?
Unbalanced with these rule sets, actually.
Yeah, it's actually very badly balanced with these rules. Yeah.
Even if like black goes first, like which they did, still pretty unbalanced.
The
That makes me
rating,
feel a little bit
the
better about
rating
this.
depends.
Makes me feel worse about winning. Not gonna lie.
No, you were on the ropes, dude, and you pulled off a victory. So yeah, don't be.
Fair enough.
Yeah, don't feel.
I don't know. It was,
Nordic Go. Oh, what happened? Discord's crashing.
no.
Okay.
Good, please.
Never. Okay. So yeah, it's actually badly balanced. But yeah, like white just has that ability to pull off like a surprise victory like that.
I would say like replayability is a 3 because depending on what rules you have, you always know what's gonna win, almost.
Yeah,
so I would say like it's fun like to play it again and again, but eventually you'll be like, yeah, I know who's gonna win probably.
Yeah, but if you have a good rule set, then the balance actually goes to be at least a 4, at least. It isn't.
Yeah, and then exciting to replay would be higher too.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're talking about like the exact rating, it really depends on which rules you're playing as, but as far as the rules I've heard, it's probably unbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah, by default it's actually it's hilariously unbalanced.
I think it helps that black can go first just a little bit, but not by much.
Yeah, the asymmetric nature of the rules, and that's one of the interesting things is like we actually don't know what the rules are, right? And so people have experimented with many different variants, and then you have to play hundreds of games, you know, and then write down the win percentage, you know what I mean? And then they propose a rules change, and then people have to play it 100 times, and so I think people are sort of zooming in on maybe what the correct rules are just from the notion that, you know, people in the past were just as smart as people today, you know what I mean? And so...
Yeah. They'd probably be like, it's not fair that this guy gets to always win.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, assuming that they did at least a somewhat reasonably decent job balancing the game...
the point of it was so that the Viking Lord can always win.
I don't know.
That would have been funny, but yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, sometimes you're trying to kill the enemy king, you know what I mean? And he's trying to escape. So it represents a situation where the king has a smaller army and he's surrounded by his enemies, and he's not trying to kill his enemies. He's trying to GTFO, you know? And so he sacrifices some of his people in his shield wall, and then he jets, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, so that was Hnefatafl, and a big round of applause to Avina and Shami and Krente for playing. Remember that Skyrim belongs to the Nords. You've heard that before, right, Ada? Thank you. Yeah, so put up some applause emojis for the players in chat, and then 1v1 me in Rocket League. Hell no, dude! I am terrible at Rocket League.
Back to you, did we go?
All right. Put the mute's back on. All right. Okay, so everybody, please go forth and launch Unreal Engine again. Nice. So go ahead and fire up Unreal Engine and go ahead and launch the project we started working on yesterday.
Why do they like putting stuff into the back? Why do they like putting that specific person?
That's John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. It's a meme where he's like looking around like, what's happening here? And so they photoshopped him over Rocket League, it looks like, in the background, and Skyrim, Kmart, nice. Okay. Summer 2021, open project. Big epics. Okay, so go ahead and give me a thumbs up once you guys. Do you like my snowman, Ada? It is very cute. Thank you. I think so too. Some of the students had some cute snowmen as well.
Its eyes, I think, it need to be perfectly matte black, not hexagons. Wait, no, sorry,
Yeah, I like.
oh yeah, that's a very nice.
I like that one. The Duncan.
That's
Duncan
a very nice snowman. Whoever
sunman.
did that, good job on your snowman.
And Torona's has a snowman on a bench. It's kind of like Forrest Gump a little bit, maybe. StarCraft
robotic snowman. What the? Okay, that's really funny.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I gave out extra credit to some of you guys. If you got an 11 out of 10, it's because I thought your snowman was funny, so or well made or something. Okay. All right. So. He saw something he shouldn't have seen, I think. Okay, I couldn't figure out how to keep the objects from being transparent against each other. Do you mean like how they can like go inside of each other like that, Simmons? Or were they at like literally transparent, kind of like that?
That looks more like a you know the Pokemon that looks like a.
So your cone was transparent. Do you have a screenshot of it? You kept disappearing when you place it against something. Interesting. Like that, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. If you put it inside of something else, then it will vanish. So just kind of gotta slide it around and stuff. Even the eyes. Yeah. Like if it goes inside of the snowballs, then it'll yeah, maybe I should make the nose a little smaller. Yeah, it will vanish if you put it inside of another thing. So you just kind of have to slide it around until the.
Dad, can you check the back of the head to make sure that the nose is not sticking out?
Nose is not sticking out. Yeah, it's got a bit of a slouch, huh? Look at that. Let's adjust that, and again, we move things by you click on something to select it, and then you can.
Did you show them like the house I made?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the house I made last time.
What the heck?
A little bit of stuff. Even guys, when you go to place them on the snowman, it disappears. So like if you drag out a sphere like that, it just vanishes.
Is that going to be its hair? It looks like a penguin now.
Okay.
It looks like a penguin now. Wait. Can you make that into a penguin? Daddy, can you make that into a penguin?
Not easily.
No, like maybe like put some ovals on its side, and then like make it that orange.
Okay. So so do you have a screenshot, Simmons, of
No, I mean like orange, like yeah, very thin, just like showing them. No, make it like that. No. Just like no, keep going shorter. Or, yeah, just do that and make it black. Make 2 copies of them and make them black. Oh wait, they're not even touching. Okay, it's looking cuter.
you want it to be black of some sort?
Yeah, like a black, not a metallic-y black, but just black.
Just
black.
We will have to make our own black then, because there's not one here.
That looks very cute right now.
So, how do you see the shapes at the bottom? That's all you see. Interesting.
Good job on the snowman.
So click on the thing. Oh, you're in. What's going on here? Content, first person audio. Click on content, like that, and make sure you show the outliner here. I wonder if you made like a C++ class instead of a blueprint class. when you did the template. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, you'll see that there's this little annoying thing here. Lighting needs to be rebuilt. Anyone else see that? Anyone else see the lighting needs to be rebuilt message up there? Let's make this guy static. Okay, he's static. He's static.
Can we make the floor grass?
Gonna make the floor grass. It's gonna look garbage.
That's fine.
There you go.
It's fine. The snowman's gonna melt though.
Oh,
That's even worse. Looks like a
Is it?
drought just happened.
How about that?
Even though I can't see it. I don't think you tracked that on.
Did I not drag it on?
Why is there a bunch of caves in?
Look at
There's a
that.
bunch of caves.
Because these are giant cobblestones. So even though it's all flat, do you guys see how this is how it actually simulates like depth? Like actually pretty convincingly. Like you get really close to it, it'll like warp and distort and things like that. Because it literally is just a flat plane.
Wait,
But
can
it's-
you go into like in-person mode and like see if that's actually?
It's actually a flat surface. But it's doing its best to try and make it look like there's actually a little canyon there and stuff.
Yeah, there is. You're doing your best, but it's just that I think you made it too big.
Yeah, that's the problem. So I'm just gonna leave it as white. Yeah, bump maps are pretty cool. All right, so you guys are seeing this. Okay, so what does that mean? So lighting can be pre-calculated, and whenever you guys are working with video games, the biggest overall arching principle that you're always going to deal with is speed. You need to have your game needs to run quickly. If you have your game, if you're doing something that requires a lot of expensive calculations every second, your game's performance is going to be terrible. The single kind of overarching feature in video games is speed. So the okay, so Simmons, you got the ball.
I'm feeling the nose is going this way. The nose is going this way instead of this way.
Yeah, try like coming around to the side, and then moving the cone around. Like usually when I'm doing this kind of stuff, you'll see me like kind of like fly above it,
Click on that.
fly to the side, and just kind of take a look at it from different angles. And you can always use the world outliner to. One thing you guys might want to do is like when you're building your snowman or whatever, like rather than having its eye be called sphere 4, I will call it right eye, and then this person is left eye, and
Why does it?
you could be head. And then you can always just click on them in the outliner. And then when you click on them, you should be able to slide them around and look at them from different perspectives. It's a layering thing. If you click off of the ball, it vanishes. There may be this here. So there's a checkbox here in the details pane called visible. Or actor hidden in game. When you hit play, it'll vanish. But if you turn visibility off, it'll vanish on you. Okay, so we were talking about lighting. So as you can see here, there's all these like different shadows and things like that. There's a sun way up there, and the sun obviously casts a shadow from the walls. You can see the wall here has a shadow cast on it.
Wait, Daddy?
Yeah?
Can you make the walls not visible?
You make the walls not visible?
Yeah.
So everything casts a shadow that's solid. Now, the thing is, like, the game is sort of computing this in sort of like real time. It's doing kind of an approximation. So what it does is it kind of looks at the sun, It looks at the silhouette of each of the shapes, and it kind of projects a shadow on the ground as the result of it. But there's absolutely no reason that it does this in real time. Okay? Because all of these things are static. Static means they don't move. The sun doesn't move. These things don't move. All of the shadowing could be done now. Right? So rather than when you're running the game, you could now compute where all of the shadows are on the snowman or snow penguin. Okay? So to do that, do you guys see the build button here? There's a little drop down next to it. And you can choose build lighting only right here. So the very top option there. And you click that, and then it is going to take a while. Lighting takes a while to compute. In this case, we have a very small level. It probably will redo the lighting reasonably quickly. Like you can see, it's 92% done already. But like when you've got a complicated level, rebuilding the lighting is something that you do before you go to get coffee. You know what I mean? Like you just leave that error message up there while you're making changes, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to do a Starbucks run, and you hit rebuild lighting, and you get your coffee, you come back, and hopefully it's done. It depends how complicated your level is. Sometimes I will let it run overnight. And that's a good thing, because you don't want all those computations that had to be done overnight happening when you run your game. Does that make sense? Like, you want as much done, when you're doing video games, you want as much pre-computed as possible. Like, if there's computations, if there's calculations that could be done prior to your game launching, you want them done now, like when you're in the editor. You know, you see how the shadow got better, by the way? Now, you can change the quality of your lighting. There's a drop down here that says lighting quality. And right now it's set to preview quality. Preview's pretty garbage quality. I typically use medium when I'm doing development. And you can turn it all the way up to production quality when you're ready to release your game. So it's fairly common to... you know, when you're just like doing development, to either use medium or preview mode. You can see it's slower doing high quality lighting, but watch how the shadow changes when we do the production quality lighting. You'll see the outline becomes more accurate. And so that's the kind of thing you might let run overnight, or maybe just use high quality for your overnight computations. And then before you release the game, you rebuild it with production quality on there. You can see it takes significantly longer. And you know, I've got a fairly decent machine here. You know, I've got a Core i9, I've got a 3090, and this is a tiny level, and you can still see that production quality lighting still took a while. And so that outline is now more accurate than before. And if I change anything, then the lighting has to be rebuilt again. So I'm going to put the lighting quality back down on preview just for the next time. You notice how the shadows don't change until I rebuild it again. So these are nice, high quality, production quality shadows. They look rather nice. But like when I'm just doing development, I typically go up to either medium or preview when I'm doing development. And when I'm wanting to see something better looking, I switch it into either production or high. So, where do you change the lighting again? The lighting quality is changed by clicking on this options menu here, and then going to lighting quality right here. And my face is hiding it, so we hide my... There. There's a drop down called lighting quality. And then you can choose a trade-off between how accurate your shadows are and how good looking they are, right? So, or speed, you know, rendering speed versus accuracy, basically is what that is. And there's also other computations that can be done right now. And if you hit the build button, it does everything. For now, you don't need to worry about that. We'll probably talk more about that later. So yeah, if you ever see that message, lighting needs to be rebuilt, then just, if it annoys you, just click there and click build lighting. And then be prepared to wait for a while, because it is time consuming to do all the geometrical computations and things like that. Okay, so we were talking about this panel over here. So let's talk about lights. I guess that's the next obvious thing. So you guys know about cubes and spheres and cylinders and cones. That's what you used for your snowman. We'll talk about triggers maybe next time. But there are lights, and so in the basic tab here, there's just point light. But in the lights tab, you can see there's a few different lights that come with Unreal Engine, and this is already pretty bright, to be honest. So maybe we can mess with the sun. Okay. So do you guys all see how there's an icon for the sun right here in the middle of the world? And if you go up to the world outliner, you can find the sun as well. It's just called light source. Your headset died. Need to go to your phone. All right, cool. Do you guys all see the sun? Can you guys click on that for me? Give me a thumbs up on chat if you guys all find it. It's called light source, and it's a directional light. It looks like the icon for it's a little sun icon with some sunbeams coming out of it. All right, cool. So, so we can mess with the sun. It's not like real life where the sun is, too big and strong for us to mess with. In video games, you can mess with it. So, when you have the sun selected, and I'm actually going to rename the light source to be the sun. Again, that's just so I can find things in the world outliner faster. The name kind of doesn't matter too much. So what can we do with the sun? Well, first thing we can do is we can change the intensity of the sun. So it's really bright right now. And I'm going to be doing lights with you guys, and it's really too bright for, there really to be any, like, you're not, like, if I drag out a spotlight, it's like, you can't see it. You know what I mean? It's too bright. So, we can adjust the intensity of the sun. So if you click on the sun and go to the details pad in the details panel in the bottom right here, you can see that it is 2.75 lux. And you can click there and you just type in a new number like 1, and you'll see the sun gets darker. Or if you want to do a live preview, if you click and drag on it, you can make the sun really, really bright or really, really off. Right? And so you can just sort of mess around with it a little bit and find a value that kind of works for you. I think 0.7 seems fine. It's kind of a dimmer light. You can change the color of the sunlight. Now, when the sun's this dim, usually that's like closer towards sunrise or sunset, right? Like if you're going to be talking about a dim sunlight, or maybe it's a cloudy day. Either way, like, it's normal for the color of the sun to change a little bit. So if you're trying to go for like a morning effect, you could, or sunset, you could sit there and play with the color of the sunlight until it kind of feels, none of these look too good to me. You can kind of play with it until you get a color that you like. It's really important to think about the mood of your game. Like we talked about Ghost of Tsushima, the mood of a game is conveyed sometimes through the story, but a lot of times through sunlight, music, things like that. So the creative direction of your game oftentimes it's really important to get sunlight and lighting and music and fog and all those things correct, because it sets the tone for your game, and And games really, you know, resonate with people when they have an emotional content. You know, like Ghost of Tsushima, like just based on its game mechanics, like I said, it's like a dime a dozen. You walk around, you collect things, you craft things, clear the map points. Like, you know, it's not novel on those grounds. But the reason why I consider it a masterpiece of a game is because the emotion, the mood that it creates. Okay, so you can control the brightness of the sun, you can control the color of the sun, and you can rotate the sun. So if you use the rotate tool, and you'll see the sun has the, you know, and you can actually drag this around, and you can make it nighttime or sunset or something like that. So see how the shadows are being cast quite long now, and that matches the darker sunlight better. You'll notice that it now says preview on the shadow, right? And so it's like lighting needs to be rebuilt. And so come up here, let me make sure I'm on preview again, and I'm going to rebuild the lighting. Again, you don't have to do this every time. It's just one of those things where it'll kind of annoy me seeing the word preview everywhere. And the world's still small enough that it's a small cost right now. It gets much worse, much worse. And so you can set up what are called swarm renderers, where you actually have a bunch of computers, like a computer lab at our school. You can have them set up so that they all participate in the rendering of the lighting of a scene. And so when you do the lighting computation, you can actually farm out the computations to other computers, and they will assist you. They will assist you in speeding up the lighting computations. Okay, so were you guys all able to do that? Were you able to rotate the sun and change the intensity down and maybe make it a little different colors? Make it yellow. So I changed the tint of the sun a little bit, so it's a little bit yellowish now. And that's going to change the colors of everything in the world too. So you have to be very careful when messing with that. Because you had a color palette for your level, and now the sun's yellow, so it screws up the colors you have in the world. So, you know, maybe make it a very, very slight yellow tint, very slight, but it's enough. The human eye will pick up on it and be like, okay, it's sunset or something, because the sun's a little yellowish. Yeah, the preview lighting doesn't look too bad. Okay, it looks pretty bad here. That's pretty garbage. You know, it's all right. You know, just for development's sake. Okay. So you guys with me so far? No cool? How do you hide stuff on the right? I misclicked. What do you mean hide stuff on the right? Talking about this thing here? So it shows the data. Oh, you got rid of the details panel. Yeah, if you accidentally close a tab, you're gonna be like, what happened? So the first thing I recommend is under the Windows tab. This controls all the different things that are visible, and so you can just turn on the Details tab again by going to Window, Details, and clicking it back on. But there is the ability to reset the layout, and sometimes the Unreal Engine editor, for some reason, the layout of the screen will just get jacked up somehow. I don't know how. I think it's a bug in the editor, and so being able to do this Window, Load Layout, Default Layout, that resets everything back to the default. So if your thing gets really jacked up, you can just do that. Yeah, but like a lot of these things also I should mention, you can actually like drag them out like that. And so you can actually move things around and dock things and undock things and have it floating. Let's see here. You just have a floating tab like this. And so I can move this onto my other monitor over here, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you can actually kind of play around with the editor layout, and it works pretty nicely. Let's see. Can you dock for me? Thank you. Nope, not that way. Come on, get in there. Thank you. There. So yeah, if you ever screw that up, window, load layout, default layout, and it'll just put it all back to normal. And like I said, it does bug out occasionally. All right, so cool. All right, so let's talk about lighting. So there's a couple lights we use and a couple we don't use too much. So the most basic light, and when you make a level in a world, lighting is very important, right? Like, if there's no lights, you can't see anything, right? Like, at a very basic level, lighting is important because you can't see anything otherwise. It'll be just a black screen, right? So, but on top of that, like, when you're playing a game, if you can't see the monsters, it's not very fun. If you get killed by something you can't see, like, people tend to get annoyed at it. At the same time, if it's like fully bright, like, you know, the sun is like super bright like this, it can be kind of annoying also. People with HDR, really, that invalidated the lighting? Really? That's one of the annoying things. If you hit undo, then it doesn't put the light maps back the way they were. It's really annoying. So I'll just rebuild this while I talk. So yeah, it's really important to make sure your levels are lit well enough that you can see things in them. You don't want things to be too bright, because too bright looks terrible. It also, if you erase shadows are actually really important, because in real life, humans have two eyes, right? And most people, not everybody, but most people have what's called binocular vision, where based on the angle of your eyes looking at an object, you can see how far away it is. Right, I've got a bookshelf behind me here. I've got my router up on the bookshelf over there. And by focusing my eyes on them, my brain's like, okay, that's like 5 feet away or something. And you can actually see depth. You can't get that in a video game unless you have like a VR headset where you're rendering two different viewports, one in front of each eye. And then you can get binocular vision, which is pretty cool. When you're on a flat monitor like this, you don't have that depth information. And so shadows are really important for conveying information. Right? Like, this shadow here tells me how big this rock is. Right? Like, if I didn't have any context, that rock could be an island off in the distance. It could be a little speck of rock right in my face. I don't know. But by having the shadow coming out of it, I can tell, okay, it's behind the chair, and it's about yay tall, and yeah. And it's, you know, the light's this, and based on the shading on it, I can tell it's kind of round and things like that. And so the human vision system can recreate sort of an understanding of a 3D space from a 2D image really nicely. Like, you know, this is in front of this, which is in front of this, because of the way they overlap. Right? This guy overlaps and occludes. It's called occluding, to block something. This guy occludes that guy, and that guy occludes that guy, right? And so based on the way they overlap each other, we can tell who's in front. And we can also look at the shadows over here and the shadows over here, and we can figure out depth information from that. If you were to eliminate all, like if you just fully lit the scene, there would be no shadows. And it's really weird and disorienting when there's no shadows and there's no shading, because that eliminates our ability to perceive depth. And video games back in the day, because shadows are computationally expensive, a lot of them got rid of them. Let's see. And so in Hawaii, there was this shot from a couple of years ago, 4 years ago. And so when the sun is directly overhead in Hawaii, it looks like a bad video game render. You see that? It's weird and discerning. This is actually real life. This is not a video game. But the sun is just directly overhead the poles. And it just looks weird and disorienting. Because there's no shadows, you know. You can see there's shadows back here, but they're coming straight down. Because the sun is just like that. And so this looks like Grand Theft Auto 3 or something like that, you know. Shadows are one of the more expensive things you do in a video game. And so a lot of times we'll turn them off when we don't need them, but then it looks weird, you know. Are you guys with me on this? Do you understand? Cool. All right. So, yeah. So shadows are really important, and they cultivate mood, but they also help you just understand the level, like your brain understand the level as far as where things are and who's in front and what's going on and stuff like that. So, lighting. So a point light is your basic light. Like imagine it as a light bulb. Okay, so if you just click and drag a point light out like this, then you can drag it around, and you can see it. The game will preview the light effect that it'll have, and then the next time you redo the lighting, then that light will be included in the lighting calculations. So if I were to put this guy over, let's see here, try to put this light over next to the snowman, you'd see there's now a shadow from this light bulb that I put in there going this way, right? And you can see how it says preview on it, right? It says preview on the snowman shadow. And so I'm going to have to rebuild the lighting again, right? And so every time you add a light, it adds more complexity to the lighting calculations. Your lighting takes longer. The sphere that you see here is the area that it'll light, and it's bounded by that so that you don't have to, like if you've got an object a mile away, it doesn't want to have to do the lighting calculations between a light bulb, you know, on one mountain and a person standing on another mountain, right? So, and so they will bound the distance that a lot of the lights can impact the world to make the lighting computations not ridiculously expensive. UE5 is going to do lighting really well. Yeah. And the way it does level of detail is also pretty cool stuff. We haven't talked about level of detail yet. How do you set it to nighttime? Well, what I did was, like you can turn off, like if you delete the sun, like it'll be nighttime. But you got a skybox here, right? So the skybox needs to, there you go. Just click on the sky and delete the sky. There you go. That's how you do it. If you don't want it to be a beautiful, brightly lit sky, there you go. It's sunset now. Okay. Yeah, and so now that I've rebuilt the lighting, you can see this light bulb here is casting a shadow from the snowman, and it probably, yeah, there's a really light shadow coming off the chair here. There's probably a light shadow coming off the block here as well. But you can see how rough the light map is here. So this is preview image quality. So you see how the lighting is not very smooth and things like that. That's just because I don't want to spend an hour of class time rebuilding the lighting every time. Okay, so that's a point light. A point light is a light bulb. It just radiates light in every direction. If you click on it, you can adjust the intensity of it. It's probably going to invalidate the lighting. Yep, there you go. You can adjust the intensity of it. You can drag it up and down and, you know, kind of preview the what you get out of it. Again, you can change the light color. Make it a disco party. I don't know. It's kind of cool looking. All right. And then the attenuation radius, again, is this thing here. And that's controlling... Do you see how the shadows sort of vanish? You know? That controls the fall off of the light bulb. Okay, so if you want the light bulb to affect a bigger radius, you can drag it up. If you want it to affect a smaller radius, you can drag it down. So I'm going to move it up to about here, I guess. And I'm going to rebuild lighting again. Yay. Okay. Laptop low again. Are you running out of juice or something? So, a point light, 360 degrees sphere, it just shoots out photons in every direction. If you have like a light hanging on a string and there's no lamp shade or anything like that, a point light works out really well. Now, what if you have a lamp with like one of those recessed lighting, like, you know, some people have in their kitchen. They have a little hole and then they put the light bulb in the hole and then it casts light downwards like this. It doesn't really go out in every direction. It goes in one direction. And so for that one, you're going to use a spotlight. And so a spotlight, when you drag it out, you'll see it looks a little bit different. It's got a cone. So a spotlight has a direction, right? You can use the rotate tool and you can rotate the direction the spotlight is facing. And you can adjust the intensity of the spotlight. You can highlight that thing there. And you can move it around. And so spotlights are really useful when you want to draw attention to something. In a video game, it's really annoying when players are like looking for something and they can't find it. And so spotlights are typically used in video games to be like, hey, pay attention to this thing. Right? Ooh, that's cool. It's animated. It's cool. So like one of my favorite games of all time, Kingdom Come Deliverance, is a pretty awesome game. However, there's one quest that is super, super annoying. And it's super annoying because you're sent to find a spoon in a cave. The spoon is clay colored. The cave walls are clay colored. It is impossible to see where the spoon is. And so I literally spent like 15 minutes in the cave just moving the cursor around, like trying to find when it would activate and be like, pick up the spoon. In my opinion, it's like, okay, they're doing that because they don't want it to be too easy. Like if you just walk in, oh, there's a spoon sitting on a shelf, you pick it up, you walk out. Like that's boring, right? Like I get it. Like I get why they kind of hide it, do a little find the sniper business. You know what I mean? I always want to play that game. Is it good? Yeah. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm kind of a history nerd, and I worked in history for 12 years. And Kingdom Come Deliverance is actually a historically accurate game for once. It's made by a Prague team. It's set in the area near Prague, about an hour outside of Prague. And it was their first effort, and so they made some mistakes, like the spoon thing. It's like, I kind of get it. They want it to like be a little challenging. But what I would have done if I was doing that is I would have taken a very, very mild spotlight. Like, taken one of these things, kicked the intensity down really low, but just enough that there's a little highlight on that spoon. And so somebody who's like walking around will catch a little glint of light coming off the thing. You know what I mean? And so you can use very, very soft spotlights to just be like, hey, maybe, like if there's a desk that's got a letter you're supposed to read, just make an invisible spotlight and kind of just shine it down on that desk, and the human eye goes, oh, there's something interesting over there. And you walk over and you look at it, you know? So, yeah, KCD is a really good game, but you know, there's a couple parts like that where the fact that a new studio kind of show a little bit. But highly recommended. It's Skyrim without magic, if you want to think of it that way. The story in it is historically, you know, or at least based on history. You know, some of the things we don't know, like we know Scalix was destroyed. We don't know exactly how, and so some of it's kind of speculation. But they had a team of historians working with them on it. The arms and armor and fighting styles and everything is accurate, and that's something I really appreciate. Like when you hit somebody in armor, like in most video games, like armor doesn't work like armor works in real life. You know what I mean? Like you hit somebody over the head, and your sword just cuts right through the metal helmet, and you kill them. In real life, a sword doesn't go through a metal helmet. It really doesn't. It's a metal helmet. It'll bounce off. Like if you want to split a metal helmet open, you need like a two-handed Dane axe and really power into it, and then you can maybe crack the helmet open. In real life, if you take a sword and try hitting a metal helmet with it, you might annoy the person on the inside. Or if you hit them really hard, like just the blunt force of contacting their head might be enough to maybe even knock them out. But in general, unless the helmet's like really badly made or rusted or something, like it's not just going to go. Game of Thrones is really bad this way. You know, people are wearing armor and they just run them through, and it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, armor actually works. You know, like it's actually really hard to take a sword and drive it through armor. Like I've done leather working, and just trying to like punch a hole in leather is really hard. And if you have a sword, you're just gonna hit the leather. You know, the leather is gonna come in, and it's annoying. You know, but like almost every fantasy and historical movie gets the way that arms and armor work wrong. And half sorting, backwards holding, hitting with the guard, yeah. If you do HEMA, then yeah, you will dig the game. The only criticisms are like really minor, like the eye slits are too big because they 3D scanned in reenactors' helmets, and reenactors like having vision because they don't have to worry as much about somebody stabbing them in through their eye slits. So that's the level of criticism in the game. Is that you know, the eye slits are a centimeter too big. It was available free on Epic Game Store, but it's not right now. I think if the summer sale's going on, it was on sale for like $10 on the Steam summer sale. So let's see if it still is. Yeah, if you guys like role playing games like Skyrim and things like that, KCD is highly recommended. It came out 3 years ago. Back up to 30. Sorry. Yeah, it was $10 yesterday. You might be able to find a cheap key for it on GTG or something like that. Okay. You have to learn to read. Like you can't read because you're a blacksmith's son. You can't read. So when you pick up a book, it's like, and you actually have to go and pay a guy, and he'll teach you to read, and you actually transcribe some Latin, and then you learn the ability to read in the game. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Yeah, look at that preview quality lighting right there. It's terrible. Okay, so point light, spotlight. Okay. Spotlight, again, it shoots out light in a cone. Stage lighting, you know, like if you've ever done theater. There's usually somebody manning a spotlight, and they follow the people on the stage and stuff like that. And again, the spotlight is there to draw attention to somebody, right? Like that's why they do spotlights in theater, and they've done it for hundreds of years, right? Shakespeare had spotlights, you know. They would burn chemicals, I believe. Really? Old Globe Theater, maybe? Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, so you can see right here, like they have light shining on them to draw attention to them. So that's you know, or if you just have a light like a recessed lighting or something, and they would just naturally cast light in one direction, then you use a spotlight. Okay. But but really, like, what you want to think about it is like when you want to draw attention to something. If the clue is on the desk, get a spotlight shining on it, and then the human eye will be drawn to the desk, and you'll come and look at it. Like, oh, it seems like there should be something here, and you discover the letter. You know what I mean? Okay. So, rectangular lighting. See that? So when you have like maybe like a window or something like that, you want to simulate light coming through a window or something. You can do that, or if you have like in some kitchens they have those light panels and they kind of cast light like that. You'd use one of those. Skylights are they simulate light from the sky. Intensity scale. Cloud ambient occlusion. There's a lot of options in there. There's already a skylight in the world, so you don't need to worry about that. You can just edit the current one, which is somewhere in here. Or maybe I got rid of it. I don't know. So skylights represent light coming in from the sky, and then a directional light represents the sun. Usually, or it represents a light far away that is casting light in a certain direction. So if you have, I don't know, like a billboard across the street, you can set up a directional light coming in from it. If you want the light from the billboard to be like coming in through the window or something like that, you can do that. It kind of represents a point infinitely far away that casts light in a certain direction. And so you can, yeah, there you go. There's two suns now. Right? Binary star. All right, so now you've got one sun here, one sun the other way. So one sun's casting light this way, one sun's casting light this way. It's very confusing to do that, so I recommend not doing it. Just usually having one directional light is enough. Otherwise, it kind of confuses the human brain a little bit. You can see the shadows kind of look cool from the spotlight. Do you guys have any questions about the different lights? Point light, like if you're going to be lighting up a room, which is what your next assignment's going to be. If you have a torch or something, that's usually a point light. You're just going to use a combination, usually point lights and spotlights, to light the inside of a room. Maybe a rectangular light if you have a plane that's producing light. Use one. You guys have any questions about lighting? Changing the colors? You guys know how to change the colors? Right here. Colors, by the way, if you haven't worked with colors before, colors usually range from 0 to 255. 0 means none of it, so and it's usually split down by red, green, and blue. So if I were to change the amount of red in this light to 0, then it's full green, full blue, and no red. So you get this kind of teal looking effect. If you change it to 255, 0255, what color do you guys think it'll be? Full red, full blue, no green. What color light do you think is going to happen when I hit return right now? Purple. Very good. And if you go full red, full green, no blue, you get yellow. And you can do numbers between 0 and 255 as well. For example, if I go 100, 150, I'm going to get a brown light like that. Brown is actually red-green with some blue in it. And brown's a weird color because we don't see it as reddish-green, you know. We see it as brown. So too much blue, it turns into gray. Too little blue, it turns into yellow. But with a little bit of blue with the red-green, then it's brown. So brown is weird. Make it a little brighter. too bright at this point. Yeah. Yeah, brown's weird. Okay, so, yeah, feel free to mess around with the colors and things like that. So your assignment for today is I want you guys to build a little room, like a little cabin in the woods or something like that. Not the movie, just an actual cabin in the woods. And you can build it out of cubes if you want. For example, you could drag out a cube and kind of scale it to form a little wall, and scale it out like that, and scale it up like that, you know. And then once you have a wall, that's a little too big, huh? Once hit end to snap it down, and to snap it down. Once you have a wall in the size you want, remember there is Control W. Control W duplicates something, and then you can make a second wall. So build a little cabin, and I want you to light it. So put a couple props on the inside, like maybe let's search for a chair, maybe. You put a chair in there. Maybe just a cozy little cabin in the woods. If you don't want to use the cubes and things like that, you can use the architecture starter content, which has walls built for you, walls with windows and things like that. So you can just kind of use the architecture meshes to put together a cozy little cabin in the woods. And I want you to light it, okay? So I want you guys to put a little props in there, and then maybe, let's go over to the props section here, a ceiling lamp, you know, and then maybe attach a spotlight to it, that. Something like that. You guys got me? It's like maybe, you know, I don't really have a ceiling here. And so I've got a, you know, if I had a ceiling there, then I could have a lamp hanging from it, casting light downwards, things like that. So just build a little cozy cabin in the woods, a few props, a few lights, things like that. That's your assignment for today. Okay. Any questions about it? Do you want us to turn it with a screenshot again? Yep. That's and again, if you guys like what you did, post it on the help channel, because it's fun for people to see what everyone else is doing, you know. And so I highly encourage you guys to post your screenshots on the IS50 Help Center, and we can take a look at your fantastic cabins. No, I think I got it. If not, I can Google it because I missed it getting things charged. Yeah, in short, drag some objects out, build a cabin using the pieces in either the architecture folder or just the boxes and things like that, and scale them to fit. You can put materials on them if you would like. So you can, I don't know, find a nice concrete texture or something. The cabin, maybe oak, maybe, I don't know, something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, just texture it. You know, put some materials on it, build a little cabin, and then I want you to put at least a point light and a spotlight into it. Okay, so put some lighting into it, make it look nice. Screenshot it. That's it. So the way this class works is noon to 2:25 is the lecture time, and then the time after that is the lab time. And I'm available during the lab time. Sometimes I'll be with the IS50B people because this class is 2 classes in 1. But I'm around, so if you guys work on it like immediately during lab time, like right now, then, you know, if you have any problems, you can just ask me. You know, I'll be here. And like I said, office hours is technically 24/7. Just anytime I'm awake, I'm usually on office hours, so to speak. So just send me a message on Discord or post onto the Help Center. The Help Center is for covered. Where do you upload these videos to? They are not... Can find them on Canvas. Okay, let's see if I screwed that up, maybe. There's different visibility options in Canvas, and so sometimes things are hidden. So if you go to Canvas and you go to modules, modules... I've got all my lectures from last summer, by the way, uploaded. So if you guys want to see the guest lecture from my friend from EA, that's up there. All my lectures are there if you want to get ahead in the class. But right here is week 1. Do I have last fall 2020? It's got a couple lectures. Spring 2021. I think I had a guest lecture in there too. Anyway, so Simmons, the week 1, which is what we're currently on. This is the link to the video on YouTube. I wonder if I'm going to get copyright struck for posting a YouTube video on a YouTube video of myself. Hi. It's like the Brady Bunch. So, yeah, so modules, week 1, and then the lecture from day 1, Tuesday. Your game analysis homework here. Oh, Snowman's not on here. Lecture from day 2, and then once I finish this here, I upload it onto YouTube. It takes a while. It takes a long time to upload a 2-hour-long video. Recorded at high resolution. So it's usually in the evening sometime that the video goes up. And then once I get the video uploaded onto YouTube, I post the hyperlink here. And then you guys can watch it at your leisure. And your homework assignments will be in here as well. And once week 1 is over, then we move on to week 2. By the time we're done at week 4, we're done with the class. So, you have thousands of questions. Cool, go for it. You always on here? I'm always on Discord, yes. Yeah, except when I'm sleeping. Or, eating. Or I went to the pool yesterday for an hour. But yeah, basically, ask me a question and I will answer it. Or if you want, toss it out on the Help Center. The Help Center, there's a lot of experienced students who like hanging out and helping new students. And so if you toss a question out there, or your teammates, your classmates can answer as well, it's fine. I mean, as long as you're not just like directly copying their project files, like I don't see almost anything as cheating. You know what I mean? Like, like if 2 people turn into penguins holding the gun snowman, I'd be like, yo, like, come on, like, don't do that. But if you want to say, hey, this is how you pull a ball out, this is how you put a material on it, none of that's cheating. Okay. My line for cheating is like, are you copying things from another person directly? You know what I mean? It's pretty hard to cheat in this class, honestly, unless you're like sending files to each other. Okay. Lab time. I'm gonna ask some not needed questions. Yeah. IS50B. Not today, Bazukian. You're just to be working on the Voronoi diagrams assignment, which is due tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, so there's no 50B today. After building the cabin, you want us to add lighting to it. Yeah, because we went over lighting today, so you're going to put objects in the world, put materials on them, and put lighting on it, and just build a little cabin. And then tomorrow, maybe we'll do fog, and maybe build a little village or something. I don't know. We'll see. So there we go. Okay, so I think that is it. Oh, yeah, there's a playlist on YouTube also. So let's see here. Go to the channel. And then we go to playlists. IS50A. There we go. So here's our current playlist, and I share, copy, and paste lecture playlist. That might be easy for you guys as well. And I can pin that here. Okay. So So if you ever need to find where all the lectures are on YouTube, that's the link right there. Okay. And I can put a link to that on Canvas as well. That should just be the all-in-one place to. Paste all lectures playlist. Okay. Yeah, so that's a place where you can find all the lectures. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. And like I said, it's lab time now, so start cracking on your cabins if you got time to do it right now. And I'll put up the cabins assignment on Canvas in a few minutes, and I will be available for questions and things like that. But give me like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go take a break real fast, and then I'll be back and answer your questions. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.